Guys, so I've been getting a few like questions about what my profit is on these sales. It's about 30%. Lots of that's reinvested as well. So the whole like LTD company thing so far has been so tedious to register for. Like, got to wait for my UTR to come through in the post, and I've got to get an LTD bank account. I am hoping for a decent amount of growth like once all this is sorted, because I'm not even restocking like half the stuff. So like it should grow hopefully like after this. Before I show the next thing, I just want to sort of address, because this is going to look contradictory, like this is from a new supplier, this stock is, that I'm going to send in and show the picture now. So, right, the reason why I'm not restocking some of the stock is because I can't claim back the VAT on that stock, and I'm going to have to charge it once I'm registered. Just going to catch up on Daily V, like this. Let's see what sort of message he puts out today. Like, there seems to be sort of a theme to each episode, I think. He's sort of done it on purpose, I reckon. So basically what I got from that was, he says, follow what you love to do, basically, instead of just grinding your way through everything, because then you just won't be happy long term. It's weird, because like, I'm following what I want to do in a way, but I'm more into like the strategy and tactics side of it, rather than like the day-to-day tasks, which is what I'm doing at the moment. But I think I probably just have to do all these sort of tasks and hopefully eventually like work my way up to sort of the more CEO-based stuff like tactics, strategy. CEO-based work will help with the work ethic though, because I'm doing about 10 till 11 at night, but then taking breaks and less at the weekend. So it's about 60, 65 hours a week. It's not enough. I think he's sort of like messed up my perception of how much work's normal. But like he counts like other stuff as work. Like I don't count Snapchat as work. This is messy about. Just like setting up the limited company bank account just then. Like it's going to take another 5 days to get the forms to me. Like hopefully like, all this formality like registration period will end soon. But I think it's going to be like June the 1st till I can full on like step on the pedal and everything. Just going to listen to this whilst I'm eating my lunch. It's about techniques for rapid growth, and I'll tell you guys what to say about it. So the main method he said was to use targeted based affiliates to grow your company, basically. Just going to listen to this interview about the story of ghost codes whilst I do my accounts there. Screenshot it if you're interested. Hopefully it should be good. Finally finished at like 2. Hour interview. That was pretty good. Like, talk about new content and new features that are coming to this ghost code thing, which I think we're all on, basically. First, he said they were going to bring video-based profiles into it, so like you can sort of like tell people what your snaps are all about on it. He also said they were going to bring up a suggestions tab, so like someone who's got a similar interest to you will show up on the thing, so more likely to follow them. But I do think this app's going to be quite a sort of useful tool for build up a following for everyone. I absolutely like use it anyway. I'm sort of thinking like after that video yesterday, like, am I definitely on the right path here? Like, I think I am, because I'm sort of dead into business, but I just don't like doing these tasks. Like, you get these people in the UK who are like so into football, like they follow everything. I think that I'm an equivalent of that in business, basically. Some people like follow every football league, like Latvian League 3. But I think I'm an equivalent of that. I could go into any kind of business and be full on into it. Okay, so today I'm going to go through this book called The Self-Made Billionaire Effect, just whilst I'm eating my lunch. So number one is that they're good at juggling multiple ideas, perspectives, and sometimes businesses. So for number two, they split people up into 2 categories. There's producers and there's performers. Producers tend to be the ones that have the vision and the ideas, like Steve Jobs. These tend to be the wealthiest. So performers tend to have highly specialised skills, either in managing the company and the finances, or creating the actual product, like Steve Wozniak. So it basically says that you need a good balance of these 2 or 3 people in order to make a big, successful company. So he only really actually classes the producers as the actual entrepreneurs, who tend to be creative whilst keeping the customer needs in mind. Also says these people have a good balance of patience and urgency. So they wait to find the right opportunity, that when they get the opportunity, they go full on in. they also pay a lot of attention to the details of the product and service, so they can make it as good as possible for the customer. Finally, number 6 is that they have a different attitude towards risk. So they don't tend to think about what they can lose as much as the average person. So hopefully that was helpful to everyone. Like, I'm going to try and do this at least every week. Like, I've sort of been slacking a bit on the whole book thing, but I'll try and step it up. Today's been like a crazy day for like productivity. Like, I think I've actually been at it for 12 hours so far. Like, I'm going to keep going for about another hour or so. Like, I'm not really expecting anything to build up until after this registration stuff's finished. So, like, during June, I think things are going to start going upwards, I reckon. Right, so I want to try and explain like why I think it's going to build up in June. Like, I'll show you my bank accounts now and like show you that I'm not actually reinvesting that much stuff. It should build up. So I can sort of see I haven't actually been like reinvesting that much. Like, I think by sort of mid-June, I'll be able to like proper step on the pedal, like maybe early June. My personal bank account isn't quite as healthy as that. Like, I'm on about plus 200, but I've been on like minus 950 for ages, and then that's not including student debt. So yeah, like I sort of just did this to sort of show you why things are probably going to die off or at least stay the same for the next month or so, but then hopefully push it up in June. Just catch you up on the latest Daily V. I'll tell you my thoughts after about it. So just watching Gary V just then, like, I don't really think I want his exact lifestyle. Like, some things I'd change about it, I reckon. Like, I don't really want a sort of like face-to-face selling based role. Like, I don't want to be sort of traveling about, like calling people up all the time. Like, I just don't really fancy that. Like, I think I'm a bit more of a product guy. Like, I want to be sort of like focused on making a product and service as good as possible, and making sure the business runs efficiently as well. But like, I don't think there'll be as much sort of like face-to-face based selling and online retail. There might be if I get my own brand, but hopefully not just constant like that. What kind of role do you guys want to play in like your business life? Like, are you more sort of like the product, or are you more like sales, like Gary V? Just want to sort of go over what I was on about like last night. Like, I do realise there will be some like direct selling involved, but I just don't want it to sort of be my main role that I do. I think I'm going to get through another book today. Like, I've got a list of 60 more books to get through, so like plenty of content over the next few months, hopefully. Sorry, just going back to what I was on about just then. Like, I like the marketing side of everything, which will make sales, but just specifically direct sales, I don't want to do too much of. Do you know what the time is? It's book o'clock, people. Sorry about that. Today I'm going to be doing "So Good They Can't Ignore You" by Cal Newport. So number 1, he says passion for work is rare, and often if you go searching for a passion, it'll end up badly. He says like get amazing at what you do, which will therefore cause you to be passionate about it, rather than like the other way around, like passionate therefore good. He says to adopt a craftsman mindset, which is focused on the quality of your work and practicing it, rather than thinking about what you like or don't like. He says to acquire rare and specialised skills, which takes discipline to acquire in order to go to the work you want and get good at it as well. So number 5, he says to always have an overall mission in mind in order to have the discipline to acquire these skills. So 6, he says to make lots of small bets, and the ones that go wrong, learn from them and move forward. Finally, number 7, he says to make sure you're different enough to stand out and grab attention. Like, I don't think it's like one or the other for this kind of thing. Like, you definitely need discipline, but I think you need at least some interest in what you're doing. The reason why I think this is because, like, if you absolutely hate what you're doing and you purely rely on discipline, like, I think pretty much everyone's going to give up eventually. I do think he brings up some valid points about like people relying way too much on passion. Like, I think you need both passion, but then you need to be disciplined and driven for what you're doing. Like, I think I've got like the natural interest in business, which should help me out, but I'm not disciplined enough. Like, it's okay, but I'm just not world class at that. Right, guys, like, I'm not entirely sure how much stuff I'm going to post this week because I've got so much stuff to do. It's unreal. Like, it's mainly because I'm not really working that smart at the moment, but I can't work smart until this whole like registration stuff's over. So I'm gonna have to deal with it at the moment. Like, I know that like quite a lot of the tasks I'm doing could be automated for quite cheap, but I can't do it at the moment again because I'm changing the legal identity of the company at the moment. I'm going to try and like give the whole Snapchat thing a bit more structure by having like sort of show title segments. Like, these are the two things I'm going to do. Okay, so the first one's going to be called Book O'Clock, which is going to be me summarising a business-based book on like around a weekly basis. Second one's going to be called Vayner Time. This is basically me reading out a question from the Ask Gary Vee book and summarising what Gary Vee says. I'm sure people who have been like viewing my stuff for a while like realise I do this anyway, but like, I'm sort of just giving it like official sort of show titles basically. Sure, in the future I'll come up with other sort of segments, but they're the two main ones at the moment. Then like there's also the sort of thing of like, can I actually get somewhere, like my story, like. It's Vayner time. To explain to you guys what this actually is. Like, basically I'm going to sort of read a question from the Ask Gary Vee book and summarise what he says. Okay, so the first one is, will Facebook video become a rival to YouTube as a monetized video platform? He says that it already has, and he posts on it regularly. He goes on to say, always post natively to the platform you're on and don't go linking out to other people's or other websites' content. For example, like, don't post YouTube-based videos on Facebook with a link out. Like, post Facebook videos because it will get more reach. So he says, post your videos as a Facebook video because it will get more reach and you can target your audience better with advertising. He then goes on to say he thinks the competition for YouTube will be good because it will cause them to innovate more, which will also be good for marketers. I'm always going to try and think about what the company or platform actually wants when I'm trying to decide on my tactics. Like, for this example, I know Facebook want quality content that will keep users coming back and staying on a website rather than going to competitors' websites. So they're way more likely to reward people who are posting stuff that benefits Facebook. Like, they own the playground, play by their rules. Similar to Amazon, really. So thanks for watching the first ever Vayner Time. Like, I think I'm going to do this about twice a week. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and this has been Vayner Time, over and out.